Both lesson study and supported experiments are, in a sense, what's often referred to as action research, where the basic idea is what can we do to help students improve the quality of their learning. So let's go through the key aspects of action research. Okay, a couple of definitions, you can look at those yourself. And as you can see, it's very much, whatever definition you use, it's about teachers looking at their teaching and saying, well, look, what are some of the challenges I'm facing? What problems do I have? How might I understand these better so that I can design my instructional approaches to be more effective and appropriate? And again, sometimes it's simply about not feeling that things are going too well, not having a specific thing, but saying, right, let's try and unpack this a little bit. So that's the basic notion of action research. How can we understand and improve our practice to increase the opportunities that our students have of connecting with what we're doing and being successful? It's as simple as that. Okay, so what are the benefits? Fairly apparent if it works well. Obviously, better understanding of practice, to improve practice, and also just as we do this, it generates other questions that might be pertinent for research. And over time, and this is the basic notion of learning and the idea of professional knowledge, that we build up greater understanding of this complex activity, challenging activity we've been teaching, and that we can share this, we can engage with the collective knowledge, experiences, and hopefully we create a situation where we can learn better collaboratively. So that's the idea of communities of practice, collaborative understanding, collaborative sharing, better learning opportunities. And at the end of the day, when we do research, there's always a contextualisation. Whilst there's universal principles relating to learning, as we know, things have to be contextualised to the situation. Okay, now then, what's the basic structure of process? Well, we can see this as a cycle or a flow chart, but essentially there's some key things. Let's have a look at them. Firstly, we've got to start off with a problem that we're trying to solve or a challenging area or something we're interested in. We just want to get to know students better so that we can use that understanding to create better, effective and creative learning experiences for them. Then we've got to come up with some research methodology, basic stuff, standard research process. Then we conduct the research and we collect our data based on the methodology we've chosen. We then look at the data, collate it, analyse it, see what it means. And from that, we might develop some plan of action. So if we find out that students are not paying attention because we're talking too much or they're finding lectures boring or whatever, we come up with some instructional strategy and we move from there. Obviously, we implement it, and in any basic research that's about improvement, we evaluate it. We may share this with colleagues, we may have colleagues working with us collaboratively on it. Then, from that basis, it goes on, and it's a bit like life. We identify a new problem, we refine the strategy, understand another area of interest, and that's the process of ongoing improvement, ongoing professional development, and the process goes on. Now, a few notes on the methodology, because often people think, well, action research isn't really proper sort of scientific research in education. Well, it is in the sense that it's how well it's done. If it's just done on a very ad hoc basis, it's still perhaps useful that we get some understanding, but it's perfectly pertinent to use established methods of qualitative research, like grounded theory, phenomenography, and various other methods to make the research rigorous. So don't think of action research as a kind of second level research. It's the methodology that we use, and what I would say is there's no reason why this can't be top-notch qualitative research in education. And finally, where does it go for us? Well, it starts at the individual teacher in the classroom, trying to make sense of the students, the teaching, and trying to make improvements. And we often may then work collaboratively or share our information with groups, colleagues, and it goes on. And ultimately we can do this at school, at institutional level. And if we're doing stuff that has meaning and relevance, and people see that as having transferability within the wider community. So there's a lot to be said for good at